I'm Tricia McCannon, and thanks again for joining us for Galactic Awakening. This is a series of short YouTube videos to give you a little bit of a preview of a much longer and more involved series that I did about the complexity of the global changes that are going on. This is the second one of the short YouTube videos specifically aimed at a conversation about UFOs, Starchildren, and Stargates. In our last presentation, we talked about the different kinds of UFOs and the opening and closing of Stargates and the largely benevolent intention of many of these extraterrestrial groups. In this particular presentation, I'd like to speak about the Indigo children and the crystal children that are being born. Imagine, if you will, that you've come to a place, you yourself, and humanity, where you're visiting other planets and you discover a beautiful little paradise planet that's absolutely great. And there are some beings on that planet that have managed to discover something that could actually destroy the entire planet if they're not very careful. And you think, gosh, what can we do to stop them? They don't even know we exist. So what are the strategies that these UFO brothers and sisters or star brothers and sisters would have? One would be to land in the front of Washington or the courthouse steps at the Capitol and say, yo, you don't know that, we exist, but we exist. There's lots of inhabited planets out there, and we want to just tell you not to go down this path. What is the likelihood that our military and our government would actually go along with that? There's a lot of people that are highly invested in making money off of energy systems, whether it's coal or it's oil or it's gas or it's nuclear energy. So a lot of those invested interests would not be particularly interested in listening to anyone, and certainly our military would be frightened enough and protective enough that they might not stop to listen either. And certainly if the powers that be control the media and own the media, they can put out any stories that they want. Horrible terrorists arrive in Washington, green-skinned people aim to take over the world. And of course we've seen this kind of propaganda in all sorts of movies, very successful movies in Hollywood, where the aliens are continually reptiles and they're continually bad and they're always going to destroy us. This is unfortunate because the poor, star beings are getting some really bad press out there. So that's one approach. A second approach would be to say, I think what we'll do is ask for volunteers among the star nations to see if any of us would be brave enough or crazy enough to incarnate down there on Earth and to become an Earth human like you or me, and to grow up within their social systems, to discover what might be wrong with the social systems, and to try to work from within, accepting the same limitations that the rest of us human beings have. All the sorrow, all the pain, all the financial challenges, all the social and sexual challenges, all the many things we try to juggle in this world to figure out how to make a career and how to have a fulfilling life. So many very brave souls decided to do this, and they did this basically in three major waves. These are called the Indigo children. The first wave began to come in before World War II. And some of you that are listening to this, you might have been born in the 1930s. But of course, once World War II started, it was like, holy schmoly, those people are far more primitive than we ever thought. So, they're down there, killing each other and making lampshades out of their skin, which is one of the classic things we hear about that Hitler did in the concentration camps. So they stopped coming in. So as soon as World War II was over, there was a gigantic influx of them that were called baby boomers. They were born in the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s. And they literally came in huge waves. In short, these are the people who wound up creating the revolution through music in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. The Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Jefferson Airplane, the Grateful Dead. These were the high creative artists that decided through love, joy, music, and creativity, they were going to transform consciousness in the world. And there were actually 9 of the star systems within the Galactic Council that volunteered to be a part of this. The Pleiades is definitely one because they have strong connections with us. The Sirius A system, that's only like 7.8 light years from Earth, they decided to be one of them. The Sirius B system that have been here They were known to the Dogon tribe, very aquatic, amphibious beings, very lovely, vibrational music, heart-based. That tribe came down here. So there were 9 different star systems that volunteered their energies. And of course, each one of the people who came down takes the risk in coming down here, where your memory's partly wiped, of forgetting who you are, forgetting your mission. And so we're down here trying to find one another so that we can connect up with one another to be able to begin to work from within the system in awakening human consciousness, getting to healthier energy systems, healthier food, healthier choices for the entire planet. And many of you listening to this video are probably, in fact, those very people. There was a third wave that began to come in the 1990s and onward. And this was an influx of 14 other planets or star systems that sent volunteers down here. Now, where many of us that came in the first and second wave had had many lifetimes down here. We knew Earth, we'd been to Earth, we love Earth, we've been involved, and we have a history on Earth. A lot of the souls that have come in since the 1990s and 2000s, some of them have had little or no history on Earth. They're what are called the crystal children, or the third wave of the Indigos. What are the signs by which you will know them? Well, they're highly intuitive. They're very sensitive. They're holistic in their thinking, so they're not so linear. Consequently, they haven't done so well in these much more structured linear school systems that we have. A lot of parents not understanding their special needs have put them on Ritalin or put them on drugs, which is not a good thing because, of course, that doesn't help the nervous system at all. A lot of them have strong holistic minds in terms of tech and their ability to work with computers. Many of them are highly intuitive, or they're even telepathic. They are people that are high vibration souls that have come down here into a more primitive, yes, sophisticated, but emotionally primitive, unhealed society. So many times once they get down here, the job is a lot harder than they thought. So what happens, if they're in a dysfunctional family, trained in a dysfunctional way, many times they go for drugs and alcohol, because it's easier to go for drugs and alcohol and to try to escape than it is to push such a gigantic boulder up the hill. But in truth, if you're listening to this video and you're one of those, wake up. Remember who you are. You're probably an incredibly high consciousness soul. You've come down here for a very important mission. Let the drugs and the alcohol just kind of fall to the side. Find your soul group and start doing your work, because the planet needs you. All of us need you. This is a really important thing for us to remember. We all play a part, and those who have come in these waves of souls, life down here sometimes seems very difficult. It seems confusing because at a gut level or a soul level, I think most of us have an innate sense of beauty, love, truth, and the eternal. And we're down here in a world that teaches, superficial facts, fast fixes, materialism, anger, greed, addiction, and a whole bunch of other things that really pull us off of our real path, the path to our happiness, the path to our life's purpose. And unless we're in line with our life's purpose, we're never going to feel happy or satisfied. So I would say to any of you that have those children, support them, love them, nurture them, and learn from them. They are actually meant to be our teachers in this whole next generation of awakening consciousness. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope that if you're interested in this, you'll check out our website, TrishaMcCannonSpeaks.com, or you can email me at TrishaMcCannonSpeaks@yahoo.com and ask me to send you some of the information about the webinars. Thanks so much for joining us, and God bless.